Ferris. Now these two teams played last Friday as the final game of the regular season. It was a preview of the playoff matchup. The Scholar Hall Bears came out on top in that game of 21-9 with some excellent play by Andy Collins.
Yes, Andy Collins, he was the key to Chippewa's game, or for Scholar Hall, I mean, and he scored 3 touchdowns, and that was his 13th, 14th, and 15th touchdown of the season.
Andy Collins has been the key to the Bears offense all year long. They go to him every time they get into a crunch, and he's always been the player who can come up with the big play at the right time. He has the ability to bust a play open whenever he gets the chance. He's the key man back there, along with Steve Janvo, also in the backfield for the Bears, will be leading the attack all day long. As we prepare for kickoff, the Raiders will kick to the Bears to begin this game. Players for the Bears are all lined up ready to receive this kick. We're just waiting for the Chippewa Raiders to get ready. Season ended this year with the Scholar Hall Bears finishing in 2nd place with a 4-2 record for 8 points. They finished behind the West Ferris Trojans, who were a perfect 6-0. The other team today, the Chippewa Raiders, finished at 2-4. Here comes the kickoff, and it's sent high and long into Bears territory. It's picked up, and here's a reverse coming down the left side. It's number 33, Andy Collins, with the ball. Another big play, man, and he's pushed out of bounds right by the sidelines, about midfield.
They ended up right in front of us. I thought we were going to get into the action right away. But a nice little reverse there to Andy Collins, and he made about a 30-yard gain out of that return.
Excellent run back by Collins on the reverse. The reverse caught the Chippewa Raiders containment off guard. We have a replay coming up of that. Excellent run back by Andy Collins. Here's the kickoff. Ball is caught by one Bears player, and he hands it off to Andy Collins coming back the other way. He gets around the outside with his speed like he does so often and gets down to about midfield where he's taken out of bounds. So the Bears line up to begin their first offensive set of the day.
There was a penalty on the play, and no yards call was called.
Mark Lucenti, quarterbacking for the Scholar Hall Bears, drops back to pass. Fires a bullet up the middle, dropped by number 35, Dylan Parr, to start the action here today.
Well, that ball was thrown right up the middle. Parr was all by himself, and I don't see any reason why he shouldn't have caught that. But it's early in the game. I guess they're not warmed up yet. They haven't got into the flow of things yet.
Going to the air early, going away from Collins to start this game, trying to show that they have a solid passing game as well, the Scholar Hall Bears. Players in motion. This time it's out to Collins. Takes it, actually, it was Tyler Landry had the handoff, number 32, I believe.
Well, I'm pretty sure Chippewa has come into this game, and Coach Dodds would probably agree with me that they're just keen on Andy Collins.
Collins got the ball the first time off for a loss of 1 yard on his first run. Raiders had a big problem last week stopping Collins as he went around the right side. He always managed to get out wide right and then use his speed to burst up the sidelines for a large gain. Lucenti takes the ball from the snap, drops back to pass. Some big pressure coming from the Raiders defense. He dumps it off to Collins. Collins is called for having one knee touch the ground. He's called down. A little flea flicker over top of the line of scrimmage there to Collins. It's now 4th down.
Well, Lucenti, he backpedaled about a good 15, 20 yards, and he's looking for a receiver that was open, but the only person open was Collins, and he dumped it off, and Collins went for a loss again.
Collins managed to get back to about the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. It's now 4th down. Could see the first punt of the afternoon coming here, as it's about 4th and 11. Bears come up to the line of scrimmage. They're lined up in punt formation with Randy Rancourt back to punt. High snap, takes it easily, sends a
Nice
good
kick.
booming punt.
Great kick.
It's taken by the Raiders, running it straight up the middle. Pushes it by a few defenders and finally gets brought down at the Bears' 50-yard line. Another good run back by a punt return specialist. Getting good field position on that play. Excellent punt got off there by Rancourt. As we see the replay, it's handled easily and he takes it up the middle, driving straight downfield. Gets by a few tacklers with a few good blocks. Gets a good 20-yard run back on the play. Quarterback Kerry Pratt takes the ball and pitches left. Out around the outside is Greg Casey. Finally hauled down with just short of a first down. It's going to be a close play.
Casey showing a little speed there himself, and he found a seam and picked a hole and went right through it.
Chippewa Raiders also have two strong running backs out of the backfield. Greg Casey, who had the ball there, and Jason Doyle, number 22. Both players can handle the ball well and usually get large gains when they get the opportunity. It's Kerry Pratt, takes the ball again. This time it goes to Casey again. Gets the first down and runs about a 15-yard gain straight up the middle before he's brought down by Daryl Bester of the Bears.
Well, that play seems to be working for them. I think they'll probably keep going to the ground game. I don't think we'll see the ball put in the air very often today.
Last week, Raiders didn't have much of a passing game. They had to rely on the ground game, and it cost them. We'll see what the play is called here. Kerry Pratt taking the snap again. This time it's handed off to Jason Doyle. Pounds it up for a 3-yard gain straight up the heart of the defense. It's a third straight time that the Raiders have ran it straight up the middle, just off center. Managed to get 2 large first downs out of it and another gain of about 3 yards. Bears defense set at the line. He takes the ball, drops back to pass this time. A little toss out over top of the line of scrimmage to Jason Doyle, who's hauled down about first down marker. Tackle made by Mark Poulin.
Well, there's a flag right at the line of scrimmage, and it's probably an offsides call. We'll just wait and see here what the call is.
Call, I believe, is going against the Chippewa Raiders. An excellent play there by Kerry Pratt to get the ball off. Hit his receiver, Greg Casey, over top. Holding call coming against the Raiders. Will nullify the nice gain and drop them back another 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's a beautiful day for football out here with a nice blue, clear sky. Not much wind coming from anywhere. It's a beautiful day for football here at Kandari Field. No score so far in the game as they hand off to Casey again. Steps sideways right, tries to find a hole but couldn't as he gets gang tackled by 5 Bears. 5 Bear defenders met him at the line of scrimmage to haul him down. It'll be now 3rd and about 14 yards for the Raiders on 3rd down. Trying to put the ball into the end zone on their first possession of the game. Number 21, Greg Casey, the running back, has got many handoffs so far today. So he goes in motion, receives the ball again right up the heart. And he manages to muscle his way up just shy of the first down, I believe. An excellent run. Again, the Raiders went straight up the middle. Again, Casey was straight up the middle on that run, just off center. Managed to gain approximately about 12 yards on the play. They still came up about 1 yard short of the first down as the Raiders send in the short yardage team for a 4th and 1 try. Saw again as Casey comes off the field that Casey took the ball, went left of center, straight up the middle for a large gain. Excellent run by Casey.
Well, the Raiders in this drive have used the clock effectively. They've taken a lot of time off the clock, which is something that they have to do, because if Scholar Hall gets the ball, then they want to keep the time down.
Raiders set up in a two wide receiver offense. They hand it straight up the middle to Doyle again. Jason Doyle pounds it up the middle for the first down. As the Raiders have managed to run the ball straight up the middle numerous times and are down to about the 15 of the Bears. Actually, they're within the 15. They're down just shy of the 10-yard line. First and 10 at about the 11-yard line for the Chippewa Raiders. Kerry Pratt set to take the ball from center. One receiver out wide right. Fake the handoff to, oh, and it's just over the reach of Jason, outstretched arms of Jason Doyle. They fake the handoff on that play to Greg Casey, who's been running the ball up the middle all day. This time Pratt dropped back and threw the ball, just missing Jason Doyle. Now it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Raiders from about the 11-yard line of the Scholar Hall Bears. Raiders have put together an excellent drive so far here early in the first quarter, eating up a lot of time on the clock. This time it goes to Greg Casey, who gets around wide right. He's going to run it in for the touchdown. Chippewa Raiders get the first points on the board. Now lead the Scholar Hall Bears. 6-0.
Well, Casey gets the handoff here, and as we see, and he just keeps sweeping right, catching all the blocks, and into the end zone.
Some excellent blocks laid by the defenders as Greg Casey gets his first touchdown of the afternoon. Excellent play. The play before, they had faked to Casey. This time they went to him, and he managed to get around the right side of the tackles and put it in for a touchdown, as the extra point is good from number 44, Chuck Katsidilis. Kicks the extra point in, making 7-0 for the Chippewa Raiders. In last week's game, the Raiders managed to get on the board first, as we see number 44, Chuck Katsidilis. Defensive back managed to kick that one through the uprights for the Raiders on that play. Last week, the Raiders managed to get on the board first with a field goal to lead early in the game, 3-0. On the very next drive, the Scholar Hall Bears drove it length of the field and put the ball into play. Put the ball in the end zone to give them the lead back. We'll see what they can do as they receive this kickoff from the Raiders.
It was very important for Chippewa to score in that drive. They started in good field position at the Scholar Hall 50, and they ended the drive with a good touchdown by Andy Collins.
Katsidilis with a line drive kick. Picked up by the Bears. He's coming across the field, straight up the middle. He cuts up the middle, and he's taken down for a gain of about 10 yards on the run back. That was Andy Collins taking the line drive kick from Katsidilis and trying to drive it straight up the heart of the defense. It was finally hauled down. Katsidilis' line drive kick was taken by Collins on the right side of the field. Cut back to the middle, trying to find a hole. Sidestepped one or two tackles and was finally cut down. The Bears getting set for the second possession of the game, trying to put a solid drive together. As it's passed wide out, and there's nobody there.
Nobody there. Give him with your gut eye, let's say. Nobody there.
Raiders bench calling for an intentional grounding of the ball call.
Well, that wasn't even the quarterback throwing that ball. That was Collins.
Handed off to Collins, who went out wide to the right. Tried to throw it off. got in trouble, and he's going to be sacked for a loss, but threw it away. No receivers within 15 yards of the ball, but the referees didn't make the call. Lucenti taking the snap from center. Procedure call coming against the Bears, I believe. A few Bears were off the mark a little early on that play. Wait for the referee's call. Call goes against the Raiders. That'll cost the Raiders 5 yards on the defensive side. It'll be now 2nd and 5 for the Bears.
Step up, James, step up.
Hand off to Collins, who picks his way up the middle and gets hauled down just shy of the first down. Managed to power it straight up the middle. The Bears met him at the line of scrimmage and pulled him down with a solid tackle. And it was just enough for the first down.
Collins been working hard so far. He's been given a handoff about at least a half a dozen times now. And he's gained about, I would say, about 40 yards so far for his half dozen attempts.
Goes to a fumbled ball, recovered by the Bears, I believe.
That's number 5, Dave Humphrey.
Humphrey taking a handoff in the backfield. Went to the left of center, fumbled the ball, never really had a hold of it. Bad handoff. Managed to pounce on it to get the ball back for the Bears. It'll now be 2nd and 8 for the Bears. About their 40-yard line. So trying to drive it into the Raiders' end zone. Lucenti calling out the audible. Takes the snap, and it's a handoff. This time he didn't fool the Raiders as they met him right at the line of scrimmage. 3 of them met Collins and hauled him down for no gain on the play. That'll make it 3rd and 7 for the Bears.
Big number 10 for the Chippewa Raiders, Colin Byam, meets Andy Collins at the line of scrimmage, and he went nowhere.
Let's go, East, up here.
Colin Byam making the tackle. So they go back to Collins, who finds a hole, cuts in the side. Hauled down. That was number 48 making the tackle, Reed Williamson. Finally getting his arms wrapped around Collins and hauling him down.
Close to a first down.
First down's called. It's another first down for the Bears, who last week managed to put 15 first downs on the board against this same Raiders team. Players line up. One receiver out wide right for the Bears. Sent with the handoff again, this time to Collins again. It doesn't get many yards on the play. Once again, the Bears trying to go straight up the middle. Even last week they didn't have much success there. The place they had the most success was going wide right with Collins around the end, where he could use his speed. Bears line it up with about a 2nd and 7. Managed to gain good 2, maybe 3 yards on that run.
Well, the Bears have ran about, I'd say, about 9 plays so far, and they've only moved 20 yards. So they're eating up a lot of time on the clock.
Hand off straight up the middle again, this time to Dave Humphrey. Nope, that was 35, not number 5. Ball goes to Dylan Parr. Pounded right up the middle. Both teams utilizing the run up the middle against both teams' defense. Seems to be working at both ends of the field. Defenses have to find a way to stop that run up the middle.
3 yards off the line. Don't play 3 yards off the line. Set him down, D!
About 3rd and 4 for the Bears. Lucenti barks out the calls on audible. Goes to Collins. gets stopped just short of a first down. It'll now be 4th and 1. Bears, I'm sure, will go for it here.
They're going. Jason Doyle. Move up. They're going.
That's the kicker, though.
Chippewa plugging up the holes in at the line of scrimmage, not letting Andy Collins get through.
Bears have about a 4th down and about 1 foot situation here. Lucenti keeps it himself and pounds out the first down.
Let's get the knee. Let's get the knee.
Comes out of the huddle, and I believe he got 20 for the first down.
Yeah.
Jason Doyle.
Depending on the spot of the ball is favorable for the side of the Bears. Easy first down.
Right? Hey, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe they're going to measure.
Close enough the officials want a measurement. Well, it looks from our vantage point that the Bears have got the first down. Sepulveda the sticks to the midfield markers. They mark it in, it's an easy first down. Got the first down by about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. Referees just measuring to make sure. A little bit of discussion going on by the referees and some of the Raiders players.
Okay, let's go, D.
It's the end of the first quarter, referee signals. These teams will change ends now.
Yeah, 7-0.
Chippewa Raiders are leading the Schollard Hall Bears 7-0 here at Kandiri Field on a pristine day for football. The sun shining nice and hot here on this late October day. Good t-shirt weather out here for this fairly large crowd beginning to gather, lining along the far sidelines. 7-0 for the Chippewa Raiders on the touchdown scored by Greg Casey running around the right side in the first quarter. It's now Bears ball at the 53. Goes to the air with it, and it's just out of the reach of Bears receiver.
Well, that's the first pass that, or the second pass that Lucenti's made all game, and
both passes went towards Andy Collins. First one was completed a little flea flicker over the middle. This one just out of the reach of Andy Collins, streaking down the left side of the field. Bears set up 2nd and 10. Solid coverage on the Raiders on that last play against Collins. Sunday drops back to pass again. This time airs it out, and it's caught, and he's going in for the touchdown. Joe Rogers, number 14 for the Schollard Hall Bears, takes the pass over the middle and runs it in the rest of the way for a touchdown.
that was a very, very dangerous pass from Lucenti, especially being only his 3rd pass of the game. But he put it right into the arms of number 14,
Joe
Rogers, and Rogers steps his way into the end zone.
As Rogers eluded the first tackle from the Raiders defender and ran it in the rest of the way for the touchdown.
There was very loose coverage on the defense of Chippewa, and I think they let one get away from them there.
So prepare to kick the extra point. Kicks it through, and it's good. It's kicked up through. It makes it 7-7 the score now, as the Bears finally punch one into the end zone. Randy Rancourt kicking the extra point for the Bears to tie this game at 7-all. Chippewa Raiders got on the board first when Greg Casey pounded the ball into the end zone in the first quarter. Round wide right past the Bears defenders to make it 7-0 for the Chippewa Raiders with the extra point. And the Bears have finally replied now here
Well, we've seen 2 consecutive drives that have ended up in scoring, and if this is the way the rest of the game is going to be, then we're going to be entertained.
Sometime the defenses are going to have to step up and stop the excellent drives and the running by both teams. It's been a game of Greg Casey on the side of the Raiders and Andy Collins for the Bears. So the ball is taken by Greg Casey again, straight up the middle. One man to beat. Oh, and he's hauled down. Excellent tackle by Andy Collins. Last man back for the Bears. Pulled him down. That time we had Greg Casey and Andy Collins coming together on the same play. And Andy Collins won that one, managing to save a touchdown as Casey only had Green in front of him. And once he got by the final tackler, here at the replay.
As you see, Collins was the one giving the signal for the kick, and he stays back, well back in the field, and he's the last man, and he doesn't get beaten.
Lunges to his left to make an excellent tackle on Casey. So Raiders line up at about the 50-yard line. As it's a pitch right to Casey, and it's a reverse back the other way. It's number 25, Jamie Martin, around the wide side. Oh, an excellent tackle made. A very large gain. Got about 30 yards out of that play. Around wide left.
And there's another flag on the play.
Flag on the play, maybe coming back. We have the replay coming here as we see 25 taking it around wide left. Martin finally tackled hard out of bounds by number 35, Dylan Parr of the Bears.
I think it's going to be a holding call on Chippewa, not sure.
Referees seem to be directing most of their conversation to the Raiders. Holding against the Chippewa Raiders. In the backfield, that large gain was going to come all the way back. Have to repeat the first down.
So those penalties negate that great run.
Jamie Martin with an excellent run on the reverse, back around the left side, but it's called back. So Raiders set up in a... Collins this time coming wide left. Flag is thrown. Looks like an illegal tackle or a hold coming against the Raiders. Once again, a good gain by the Raiders will be hauled back.
Shake it off, guys. Shake it off, move it back.
Last week, the Raiders' biggest problems were fumbling the ball every time they started to have a solid drive going. And a little bit of a cold weather, hands a little tough to hold on to it. They lost the ball repeatedly last week, shooting themselves in the foot. This week, their problem looks to be penalties, as this one will cost them 10 yards, make it 2nd and 10. Will be 2nd and 20. 1st and 20 actually repeated, because all we've had is penalties so far on this drive by the Raiders. Third play of the game, third play of the drive, and we're still on first down. 1st and 20 as the Raiders line up at the line of scrimmage. Pratt takes the ball, pitches out left, pitches out right. A big run. Casey gets about 15 yards out of the play, running around right. Used his speed to get outside of the Bears defenders. Managed to take the ball down. They'll now have a 2nd and 5 situation. Simple pitch right on that play. Casey took it around wide right. Used his speed. So far this game, Casey has been able to dominate so far. Every time he gets the ball, he makes something out of it. Bears are going to have to stop him if they want to win this game. As Pratt barks out the calls, he's ready to go. Fakes the handoff to Casey. Throws it out wide. Doyle beats a tackle. Doesn't beat the second one, but he comes very close to the first down. See where the spot is. Referees look it over. Jason Doyle on that play had an excellent catch and run. Here we see Doyle taking the ball, eludes the one tackle with a spin, couldn't get by the second one as he's hauled down hard. Fine work by Jason Doyle on the play to haul in the ball and get a good run after the catch, and managed to get the first down out of it. We have 1st and 10 for the Raiders now. So we're starting to put together a solid drive, looking like the one they scored on. This time they're going to the air a little more. Here's the handoff to Collins. Collins sidesteps one tackle and gets to the outside where he's forced out of bounds.
I got number 13, Red, blocking from the rear.
Well, that's twice in a row that number 6 for Scholar Hall, Mark Poulin, has brought down the offensive players.
Check it up, guys. Bring it in. Huddle up, guys. Yes, sir.
I believe there's another flag on the play. Another flag on the play, as once again the Bears' gain will be nullified. The Raiders, put together another excellent run as Jason Doyle gains several yards on the play, but it's pulled back again. Another penalty by the Raiders. Are shooting themselves in the foot this drive, although they still have the ball. It's now 1st and 20. So Raiders have a lot of field to go to get to the line, to the first down marker. Goes to the air to Casey. Casey is hauled out of bounds by 2 Bear tacklers. A tackle being made by Mark Poulin, number 6 of the Bears. Managed to get his arms around Casey and push him out of bounds. Pratt doing a fine job passing so far here in the second quarter. Went to the air several times, and whenever it hasn't been called back on a penalty, it's amounted to a gain. Pratt's calling out the signals. Bends over to center and takes the ball, hands it off to Casey. Casey finds a hole at the middle. Couldn't jump over a tackle and gets clipped down to the field bottom. Clipped down.
Sorry, guys. Come on! Let's go!
Casey that time couldn't find a hole on the defense. Made it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all he's going to get. Number 21, Greg Casey. Doing an excellent job running the ball so far today. He's been the main man for the Raiders here in the second quarter as he's caught 2 passes and had plenty of runs. Pratt probably going back to Casey again here. Goes to the air this time, out wide right. Fakes the run, and it's a throw. That was number 13, Chad Smith, the wide receiver, catching the ball. Instead of running with it, he dropped back and passed. Number 25, Jamie Martin, streaking down the right side, caught the ball and ran it into the end zone. Here we have the replay. We see the throw as Martin makes the catch with no Bear defenders between him and the end zone, and he takes it in for the score. Puts the major in, making it now 13-7 for the Raiders.
Well, we see that play in high school football quite often. Last week we saw that play a few times, and it will trick the defenders because obviously you don't expect your wide receiver to throw the ball at any time.
As the extra point is good, making it now 14-7 for the Raiders. The Raiders again somehow managed to hold on to the ball long enough, as we see Chuck Gotsadilis there, who kicked in the extra point. The Raiders, countless penalties on that play. Got as many penalty yards lost as yards gained on that drive. Somehow managed to put the ball into the end zone. Excellent big play.
Well, that's the 3rd straight drive by these teams that have ended up in scoring. Defense obviously is lacking somewhat. Although, like, the yards that the teams are getting are very, like, they're short yards, they're running yards, but it's little these funny plays that have ended up in scoring.
The Raiders use that flip out to the wide receiver and then a pass down the sidelines last week, and it worked a couple times. As we see Katsidilis getting ready to kick off here for the Raiders. It's whistled in. Here comes the kick. Nice high long drive. It's taken by, dropped by Collins. Picks it up again. He's going left, trying to get around the defense. Finds a hole up the sidelines. No one's bringing him down yet. Excellent block. Cuts back to the middle, and he's cut down. That was an excellent tackle made by number 10, Colin Byam, to save what could have been a nice touchdown run by Collins, who seemed to be getting up ahead of steam as he cut back to the middle.
Collins got a lot of help on the sideline there with his blockers, and he picks up the ball and runs right to the sideline, trying to get away from a couple Chippewa defenders. Gets a couple nice blocks from his teammates, cuts back into the middle, and gets tripped up right there at about the 45-yard line.
There was a penalty on the play against the Raiders. I believe there's an illegal block coming against the Raiders. It'll cost them another 10 yards of field, giving the Bears excellent field position on the Raiders side of center.
Well, Collins ran about 100 yards in that play and gained about 20.
Ran left, and then he ran back right and finally got hauled down. As Lucenti takes the ball from snap, looks to pass, drops back, goes to the air, to the wide right. This time it is caught and held by number 5, Dave Humphrey. Bobbled the ball briefly, but managed to get it under control before he is forced out of bounds. Excellent play by Lucenti, going to the air. It's a good day for throwing here with very little wind. Lucenti finally going to the air on that play. Hauled in by Humphrey for a first down. Lucenti with 2 men in the backfield. This time it goes to Collins, finds a hole right and forces his way for about a 7-yard gain, punching it up the right side. As there's a late flag thrown. Could be a late hit, as there's a Raiders player down on the field. Andy Collins so far has had an excellent game running the ball. It's been the standout so far for the Bears, like he has been all season long. He scored 16 touchdowns during the regular season for the Raiders. 15 touchdowns. Hasn't managed to put it into the end zone today, as the Raiders are definitely keying on the star running back for the Bears, number 33, Andy Collins. As the injured player down on the field is Colin Byam, number 10 for the Raiders, getting up off his own steam and walking off. The penalty came against the Raiders. That cost them a little more real estate out there. We see Coach Dodds helping number 10 off the field. Colin Byam made an excellent tackle on the run back by Collins off the kickoff. And a key defender so far on the field for them. Made several big tackles. Both Humphrey and Collins are in the backfield for the Bears. Waiting the snap from Lucenti. Here comes the call. He's dropping back to pass. He's looking right, goes back left. It's caught by Collins. He's running out, getting away from a Raiders defender, and he puts it into the end zone. No, just short. Yes. Hands finally go up by the referee. Touchdown, Bears. Andy Collins with his first touchdown of the day, this time taking the pass from Lucenti. Lucenti got in a little bit of trouble as he backed up. He was looking for his main receiver out right, Humphrey, who was caught up in excellent coverage by the Raiders defense.
Lucenti was rushed on the pass itself because he had 2 Chippewa players right in front of him. The Chippewa players should have made him pay for that.
Had lots of time, Lucenti, to throw that ball. Some excellent coverage by his offensive line. As we see Rancourt getting ready to kick in the extra point to try and tie this game. Kicks it, and it is good. That'll tie this ball game at 14-all. Seen some excellent football so far here in the first half, as both teams have drove the length of the field. Here's a replay of the extra point. Snaps handled well by the setter, and Grandcourt splits the uprights for the extra point. 14-all. The Scholar Bears have twice come back from 7-point deficits to tie this game for the second time. 14-14, Bears Raiders. On this drive, the final drive by Lucenti, quarterback for the Bears, topped it off. Managed to show great patience setting up in the backfield.
Well, there was only 3 plays ran by Scholar Hall on that last drive. And the reason that they were so close to the end zone was Chippewa penalties. Penalties came back and hurt Chippewa on that play.
Rancourt sends his kick down the left side of the field. It's taken by Greg Casey. Drives it straight up the middle. He's found a large hole. Look out.
Oh,
finally. Fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball, and the Bears have recovered. That's Dylan Parr, who pounced on the ball as it got jarred loose from Greg Casey on the kickoff return. Here we see Casey taking the ball straight up the middle, finding the hole, gets hit by
Collins.
Andy Collins with the tackle, knocked the ball loose with his helmet, and it was jumped on by Dylan Parr for the Bears as the Bears recover the ball on just their side of midfield.
Jason, you're on. No, on, get off.
This could be the turning point for the game here in the first half. Both coaches said before the game that it would be a certain play at a certain time that may win the game for both teams. As the Bears have recovered the ball here late in the first half. Vicente drops back looking for a receiver. Finds one up the middle, but it's not held on as Dylan Parr, man who just recovered that fumble. They go straight to him, but he couldn't handle the ball.
It looked like number 7, the receiver did not have any chance to catch the ball because number 74 for Chippewa, Chris Chambers, had a good hold of the receiver's shirt, and the call was not made.
Excellent coverage by the Raiders defense. As the throw was a little far from Lucenti, as we have the 3-minute warning sounded by the referee. 3 minutes remaining in the first half here at Kanduri Field. 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Lucenti this time hands off to Collins. Pounds it up the middle for a gain of approximately 3 yards on the play. Once again, the Bears going back to pounding it straight up the middle as they were in the first quarter. Both teams running the ball up the middle with great success so far here today.
Well, Andy Collins, number 33 of Scholar Hall, he's played a great game so far, running the ball well and playing special teams. He's made 2 really big tackles for special teams.
Kickoff returns. One resulted in a fumble. Is why the Bears have the ball right now, as it's thrown out wide to Humphrey, who made the catch in bounds for a 20-yard gain. Humphrey showing great poise as he managed to get both feet down before he left the sidelines.
Lucenti throwing the ball really well today.
This time
Perfect
airs it
spiral.
out to Humphreys. Humphrey doing a down out pattern, managed to haul in the ball. Excellent throw by Lucenti. Good spiral on a rope. See where they go again. The Bears have been able to mix up their offense, going to Humphreys and Collins. Lucenti calls out the play. Pitches left to Collins, who is met in the backfield by number 10, Colin Byam. Byam, we saw leave the game a few minutes ago with an injury, is back. Not that serious of an injury. And he made a big play there as he met Collins and dropped them for a loss of 6 on the play. Colin Byam with an excellent tackle. Made a few big ones already today for the Raiders. Bears line up at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 16. for the Bears. Motion left, fakes the pitch wide open on the right side. It's number 73, Randy Rancourt, the kicker for the Bears. Manages to get a large first down for the Bears there. They had everybody, Humphrey and Collins both heading to the left side of the field. Drew the defense over, and Lucenti turned and threw back to the right side, where he found the Rancourt, took it down, and an excellent tackle to pull him down at the 5-yard line.
It's a little case of kicker gone catcher there, and Rancourt makes a good catch. And usually kickers have hands of stones, but he did a good job hauling that one in.
Ball goes to Collins, who pounds it up the middle for the touchdown. Hands of the referees go up. That would be the Bears' first lead of the afternoon. They're up 20-14. As Collins goes in for the major for his second TD of the afternoon. It's now 20-14 for the Scholar Hall Bears, who have did a fine job coming back here repeatedly in the second half. It goes back to the kickoff, where Andy Collins was able to jar the ball loose from Greg Casey, started this drive and put it all together as Collins started it, and he finished it with the touchdown. It's Rancourt who made the big play with the catch wide right. Gets ready to kick it through the uprights, and it's good again. Making the score now 21-14 late in the first half here at Kanduri Field. Scholar Hall Bears putting together another drive, this time from midfield. Some big plays on passing by Lucenti. Big key so far for the Bears is that they managed to vary their offense. They haven't been going to Collins all the time. They've been switching it up, heading to Humphrey once in a while. And on that last drive, they went to Rancourt for the big play to get them down to the 5-yard line and set them up for that touchdown. Scholar Hall Bears taking the lead now, 21-14. Raiders receive this ball. Casey, last time he had it on a run back, was hit hard by Andy Collins on his run back and fumbled.
Well, twice in a row, Casey has gone right up the middle, found a seam, and he runs the ball hard and got met a couple times very hard by Collins.
Sends a worm burner down the field. Upset by his own player. Little mix-up going for the ball there by the Raiders. Number 21, Greg Casey, was moving up for it, but number 34, Jeff Colvin, picked up the ball and stepped in front of him. We see Colvin taking the ball out of the hands of Casey.
Colvin! Never step back. Oh, yeah.
And the Raiders coach yelling instructions to Colvin, saying it was supposed to be Casey's ball, resulting in the Raiders not getting it.
They're going to kick it again. I think there's a procedure call on
against the Bears.
Scholar Hall.
So Colvin gets a reprieve.
Move your line up. Watch a short kick.
As the Bears prepare to kick again here late in the first half. Rancourt begins his run up to the ball. This time he gets a
let it go.
kick down the right side, and it sends it out of bounds.
Colvin touched it.
Ball landed in play and then bounced out of bounds. It's a good kick for the Bears. Raiders ball now at about their 40-yard line.
Well, if that ball had been let go, I'm pretty sure it would have went out of bounds and they would have had to do it again. So just a little lack of concentration there on the part of the Chippewa team.
The Rancourt, the kicker for the Bears, excellent kick under instructions to keep it away from the big running man for the Raiders, Greg Casey. Didn't want to let the ball get into his hands, as he's been making some very large runbacks so far here in this game. Just missing the big play. As the handoff went to Casey, and he's gang tackled by 5 Bears defenders at the line of scrimmage. Jason Doyle had the handoff running up the middle. Couldn't find any holes and was met by an onslaught of Bear players.
Casey was at the bottom of the pile, and he looked up, and all he could see was yellow.
That's for sure. Plenty of yellow jerseys around. As Pratt yells out the calls, takes the ball, pitches it off to Casey. Casey finds a nice hole up the right side, gets the first down, and is hauled down just shy of midfield. Casey again doing a fine job finding the holes in the defense. Hasn't been stopped too often this afternoon as he takes the pitch from Pratt, finds a hole with some excellent blocking, pounds it up to the just 3 yards shy of midfield. As the Raiders, Raiders line up, 2 receivers, 1 wide each side. 2 receivers as it's handed off to Doyle. Pounds his way up and gets hit hard just at the line of scrimmage. Gains maybe 1 yard on the play, pounding it up the middle.
Well, Chippewa's got to get a drive going together here, or to stop Scholar Hall right here and retain the ball again if they want a chance to get back into this game.
Very late in the first half here. It's going to have to be a quick drive by the Raiders if they're going to pound it into the end zone. Motion in the backfield, and it's handed off to Casey, who gets nowhere. Hauled down by number 65 of the Bears. That's Paul Atchison. Paul Atchison making the tackle for the Bears.
Chippewa is angry that there was a non-call on that play. There was a late hit by number 81, Daryl Bester.
Came in a little hard and a little late. Raiders wanting a late hit call, as the hit was pretty hard. Came in with a bit of an elbow to the helmet. Raiders didn't like it. Raiders managed to have the ball just past the midfield marker. It will now be 3rd and 8. That's a timeout has been called by the Chippewa Raiders.
Well, so far we've seen a good running game from both teams, and a couple big plays in the air that have ended up with a couple touchdown plays.
So far, it's been the matchup we expected today. Greg Casey against Andy Collins, back and forth down the field for their respective teams. So far, Collins is winning. He's pounded 2 touchdowns into the end zone. Casey has 1 so far in the afternoon and has just missed a few as he is hauled down on 1 run back by Collins. As the last man back, Collins made a great play. So Raiders line up. Pratt going to the air, gets hit hard as he releases the ball, and it falls incomplete in through the hands of 2 or 3 players. The intended receiver on that play was number 10, Colin Byam. Some excellent coverage from the Bears. So got to the quarterback and hit him hard as he released the ball. And some excellent coverage downfield too, as they had 3 men marking all 3 Raiders receivers.
When the ball came down, though, number 28, Mike Driscoll for Scholar Hall, had 3 red jerseys around him, and he was able to knock down the pass.
Some excellent coverage on the part of the Bears defense. Raiders now setting it up on 4th down and 8, having to go for it. It's late in the first half. As Pratt lines up, they go to the punt formation. And Tim Shillington
That punt
didn't get much on the punt. But it's picked up by the Bears. Mark Poulin, who finds a hole, leaps over 1 tackler, and is finally hauled down by 4 Chippewa Raiders. Excellent run back by Poulin. picked up the ball and found a hole down the left sideline. Here we have the replay. Here's the punt. Didn't get much on it. Went off the side of his foot. Had a little difficulty. Poulin picks it up. Takes off left. Outruns one tackle. Gets up the sidelines for a large gain as he leaps another tackle. And is finally hauled down by the Raiders. Number 19, Tim Shillington, the punter, made the tackle on that play. So once again, the Bears lining up in Raiders territory with the ball. They've won the field position battle so far today. Every time they get the ball, it's in Raiders territory. Lucenti having to go wide out. He gets hauled down as he throws, and it's incomplete down the right sidelines. Lucenti rolled out right on the play, trying to elude some tacklers. Couldn't do it.
Sonny looked like Superman there. As he let go of the ball, he got tripped up and head first into the turf.
1 minute remaining to play in the first half, as the Bears have the ball at the 40-yard line, leading 21-14 over the Chippewa Raiders.
19 seconds, Red. 19 seconds.
19 seconds, the referee says to both teams bench. 19 seconds remaining in the first half. As the Bears with another opportunity to score here before the half. One, maybe two plays they'll have time for here, depending on where the ball lies after the first play. Number 74, Chris Chambers, one of the defenders for the Raiders, sorry. Has been part of a Raiders defense that started off the game very solid, stopping the Bears the first time down the field. After that, though, the Bears have been managing to drive the length of the field, which hasn't been very far for them, as the Raiders have awarded them the ball several times in their own territory. The Bears have put together some impressive drives and have put the ball into the end zone 3 times, and they now lead 21-14 over the Raiders.
Chippewa's put together a couple good drives too. Ended up in touchdowns also, but the fumble on the kickoff was a big play in this game so far.
Bears with 2 receivers out wide right. As Lucenti's looking right, flag on the play, but it's up and just incomplete. As Humphrey trying to come back for the ball was beat to it by Jim Santery of the Chippewa Raiders, who had a chance for the interception but couldn't make the catch on a dive. There was a flag behind the line of scrimmage. I believe it's going against the Scullard Hall Bears.
Yeah, but time. They only have time for probably one more play anyway.
I know. I'm declining. Third down.
You should have took it. Yardage situation.
It was a holding call against the Bears.
Third down.
No time left on the clock. So this will be the final play of the half. This penalty was declined by the Raiders, making it now 3rd down and 10 for the Bears from the 40-yard line. 3rd down as Lucenti barks out the calls and takes the snap from center. Only one receiver long, goes to Collins over the middle. Dodges right, dodges left, finds a hole at the sidelines and gains the 1st down. There's another flag in the backfield. As Andy Collins once again works his magic, and when he gets the ball, finds the holes, makes holes in the defense as he was streaking down the sidelines on that play. There's a Raider player down just off to the sidelines, trying to make the tackle on Andy Collins. Went in a little awkward and is down.
He hasn't moved since he got down there, and that's not a good sign.
Could be serious as the trainer for the Raiders gets out to help, to give his assistance. And a penalty on the play against the Bears for holding in the backfield. Flag in the backfield nullifies the gain by Collins and will cost them 10 yards of real estate. Injured player for the Raiders was number 42, Josh Sparks. He's walking off the field on his own steam, and that's good to see. 4 seconds remaining in the game, in the first half. Sorry, as Lucenti drops back to pass on what will be the final play. It's taking and it's lateral to Andy Collins, who couldn't handle it, loses the ball, and it's picked up by the Raiders to end this half of play. As the signal is given for the end of the first half here at Kandari Field, we have the Scholar Hall Bears leading the Chippewa Raiders 21-14 in this NDA Semi Final matchup. Welcome back to Kandari Field for the NDA Senior Football Semifinals between the Chippewa Raiders and the Scholar Hall Bears. Scholar Hall has taken a halftime lead, 21-14 over the Raiders. I'm Glenn Hall, along with my companion, Don Michelle, for this game, giving you all the action here on McLean Hunter, Cable 12. Excellent game so far by both running backs for both teams. Greg Casey of the Raiders has had an excellent game, especially returning kickoffs. He's came within one block or one sidestep of a tackle of breaking 2 or 3 for the distance. And on the other side of the field, Andy Collins, star running back for the Scholar Hall Bears, has a gain. Been having a game of a lifetime here as he has 2 touchdowns so far, to add to his season total of 15 during the regular season.
Collins is, once again, just to reiterate, he's having a stellar game, and his speed seems to be very good today. He seems to be up for this game with 2 touchdowns and 2 key blocks and tackles on
special teams.
Special teams.
As the Bears on our right in yellow jerseys be prepared to kick off to the Raiders to our left, wearing the red jerseys. Rancourt gets the whistle and kicks it along the ground. This time it's handled by number 34 of the Raiders. Finds a bit of a hole and muscles his way back up to midfield. That was Jeff Colvin, who earlier in the first half had got the wrath of his coach for picking up a ball in front of Greg Casey, their star returner. This time he was forced to handle the ball and made a fairly decent run back of about 10 yards to midfield, giving the Chippewa Raiders perhaps their best field position starting a drive so far today. All first half, the Bears had them pinned deep in their own end, as the Chippewa Raiders line up with one receiver wide right. Handoff goes to Casey as he comes out the right side, cuts back up the middle. Has a solid gain of 9, maybe 10 yards. It'll be close to the first down, depending on the spot of the ball. Referee spots it just shy of the 40-yard line. For a 9-yard gain by Casey. Raiders once again going with the run, handing to their big running back, Greg Casey. As this time the Raiders line up with one receiver out wide both sides. Fake the handoff to Casey. And it's taken by number 13 as he breaks up the right side and finally forced out of the bounds by 2 or 3 Bears players. As number 13, Chad Smith, the other running back in the backfield for the Chippewa Raiders, doing a fine job to pound the first down out. As Kerry Pratt had took the snap from center and faked the handoff to the big man, Greg Casey. He then sent it back to...
He faked the handoff and had the Scholar Hall defense going all to the right, and he went to Chad Smith, number 13, and everybody was going right, and he went left. So
as this time, Pratt drops back 2 steps and fires out wide to the wide receiver. Throw was in the ground and he couldn't handle it. Wide intended receiver was Jamie Martin. out wide right. Raiders trying to go to the air a little bit to mix up the offensive set. It's about time they've went back to Casey or Doyle and out of the backfield. So they line up with two wide receivers both sides. Handoff goes to Casey, leaps over two tacklers and makes it out to the left side. Manages to power his way out past one tackler as he's finally hauled down by Marc Poulin, who makes yet another big tackle for the Bears.
Poulin has been playing a very good game, and on defense he's made at least 4 or 5 big tackles, bringing down
Andy Collins this time. Greg Casey this time finally caught from behind, something that doesn't happen too often to Greg Casey. Some excellent speed and manages to outrun most tacklers. This time Marc Poulin caught up to him and hauled him down. The Raiders line up this time with one receiver out wide both sides. Pitch out goes to Casey's. Casey finds a big hole. Burst of speed to lose a few tacklers and puts it into the end zone for the Chippewa Raiders. First drive of the second half produces a major score for the Chippewa Raiders. This time it's Greg Casey for his second touchdown of the afternoon. Casey doing a fine job as he took the pitch and ran it into the end zone down the right side of the field as he blurred by several would-be tacklers for the Scullard Hall Bears.
Casey once again swinging to his right. It looked like a carbon copy of his first touchdown. He swings the ball out to the right, and he has success doing that, going for another major.
As they line up for the extra point. It's kicked straight through the uprights by Katsidis. Popping in the extra point to tie this game at 21-all. Although it appears to be a flag on the play. May have to do this one over. Referees discussing it with the captains of both teams on the field. Greg Casey took the pitch on that touchdown run and managed to get it into the end zone. So far today, the Chippewa Raiders have been able to come up with the big play when they needed it, something they were missing last week against the Bears on that final game of the regular season. So far, the Raiders, when needed, they've brought the big play out, going to the big man Casey, as they are repeating this attempt at the single. 10 yards longer, and this time it goes through, splits the uprights, and it is tied at 21-all. Katsidis.
Both teams so far have been trading touchdowns and with very entertaining drives. Nothing too spectacular yet, but just solid games from both running backs, Andy Collins and Greg Casey.
There's an injured Bears player down on the field after that extra point. It's number 45, Charlie Young, I believe, from what we can see from our vantage point. Great tie game we have going here early in the second half as the Raiders come out flying to start off this second half with a good drive. Started the drive at midfield. Several plays later, they pounded it into the end zone. Greg Casey with a 40-yard run to tie it up. That's Charlie Young down on the field. Appears to be in a severe pain at the moment as he works his way to his feet with the help from his coach, from his trainer, sorry. So the referees are signaling for some players to come out and help Young off the field. So seems to be in severe pain as he holds his stomach. Here we have a replay of the single point by the Chippewa Raiders. Katsidis splitting the uprights for the extra point, tying this game at 21-all. Charlie Young finally manages to get off the field on his own steam. Raiders kickoff unit lining up. Here comes the kick. It's directed at Andy Collins. Collins has the ball. There's a flag on the play. Collins managing to get out wide and is finally hauled down. Several flags down on the play. We'll sort this one all out eventually. Perhaps we can see what happened. There's a flag back at the point of kickoff. I believe the Raiders are going to be called for procedure on that play. As we see Collins taking the ball, heading to the left side of the field, trying to find some open space down the sidelines. Gets clipped down and finally gets hauled out of bounds.
The original call will be probably offside on Chippewa. And then Scullard Hall will also be called for a holding.
Holding call, I believe, is the correct call against the Bears, as the referee is discussing the play. And I believe the signal is that the Raiders are going to re-kick the ball. Kotsilidis did something not expected. He kicked the ball directly to Andy Collins, the big running back for the Bears, who had lined up to receive that kickoff. Received the ball. So far today, the Raiders have been trying to keep kickoffs away from him, as the Bears have been trying to keep kickoffs away from the big man for the Chippewa Raiders, Greg Casey. That'll be re-kicked. 5 yards up. So penalty against the Bears as they re-kick it 5 yards further up the field. This will give the Chippewa Raiders an opportunity to pin the Bears deep in their own end. Last kickoff went to Andy Collins. We'll see where they direct this one. It's Kotsilidis lines his troops up and get ready to kick it off. Sends it in the air. Kicks it short to the left. So it goes off a Bears player, and I believe the Bears managed to fall on top of it before the Raiders got down to fall on top of that ball.
Tricky little kick there by Kotsilidis. He kept it short and kept it low, looking for the one hopper, maybe even it's almost a type of onside kick. He was looking for Chippewa, his teammates, to go down and try and recover the ball.
The main point of that kick was to keep it away from Andy Collins. He was down the left side, but he kept it very short. Didn't give Collins an opportunity to return that punt, that kickoff. It's now Bears ball at their own 32. As Lucenti calls out his signals, gets ready to take the snap, drops back, looking to pass, airs it out. He's got a receiver. Oh, just out of the reach of Joe Rogers, who made a diving attempt at the ball but couldn't haul it in. Lucenti threw a perfect pass. Rogers just couldn't quite get to the ball, which was thrown very well by Lucenti. You see Lucenti drop back as the defense collapsed on him. He airs it out. Perfect pass. Rogers just couldn't handle it. Excellent try by Rogers as he lunged, stretched arms, tried to haul it in. 2nd and 10 now for the Scullard Hall Bears. Lucenti takes it, hands off to Collins, hands off to actually number 24. That's Steve Janvo in the game. Janvo with an excellent run up the left side. Found a big hole and ran for a gain of 15.
That's the first time they've gone to Janvo. He makes the best of his first run, picking up about 20 yards.
So far in the first half, they had normally had Humphrey and Collins in the backfield. Finally, for the first time this game, we see Janvo coming out of the backfield, taking the ball for a big run. As they line up with Collins in the backfield. Collins and Janvo. It's taken by Janvo, who is pinned down right at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't find the hole on the left side of the defense that time. That'll force a 2nd and 10 situation for the Bears, who have 2 times in a row gone to Steve Janvo. Last week against the Chippewa Raiders, it was the combination of Janvo and Collins who usually march the ball down the field. Once again, Collins and Janvo lining up in the backfield. Janvo in motion, Collins in motion. Lucenti back to pass, intercepted. The interception right into the arms of number 40, Adam Breton. Was in the right place at the right time, couldn't help but catch that ball. Adam Breton with the big play. As we'll see on the replay here, that Lucenti drops straight back, throws a rope for his intended receiver, but right there is Adam Breton to haul it in. Hit Breton right in the numbers with that pass.
Yes, I don't know why Lucenti threw the ball up the middle. His intended receiver was well covered, and obviously with the turnover, Chippewa is now back up and they have their adrenaline going again, and we'll see what happens in this drive.
Couldn't find a man in the seam on that play, and it now becomes Chippewa ball as Pratt back to pass, airs it out the left side. Casey's there, makes the catch, he eludes 2 tackles. Casey into the end zone, giving the Raiders the lead once again today. Wow, Greg Casey wide open down the right side of the field. Managed to haul in the ball and then used great acceleration, as we'll see here on the replay. As Pratt drops back and airs it out long. Casey hauls it in and takes it into the end zone. So we saw on the replay there, Casey with the touchdown. Gives him his 3rd touchdown on the day.
Well, I was just going to mention that Pratt has not gone to the air very often today. He's pretty much stayed on the ground with Casey, but this time he goes to the air with Casey and strings him a perfect pass. Casey eludes a couple.
Bad snap, Kotsadillis can't pick up the ball. I believe the Raiders recovered, but they botched the extra point attempt. That will keep it 27-21 for the Raiders here in the 3rd quarter at Kandari Field. Poor snap, that could cost them later in this game. If the Bears ever get a touchdown, all they'll need is the extra point to give them the lead. First mistake by either team so far on offense, as they missed the extra point there. Raiders, though, taking full advantage of an interception catch against the Bears. Bears Lucenti throws his first interception of the day, and it comes back against him as the Raiders on the first play of the drive after the interception go to Greg Casey down the right side of the field for the touchdown. 50-yard throw and run.
2 big turnovers have cost both teams 1 touchdown each in this game. In the first half, it was Collins jarring the ball from the Chippewa player and recovering, and in this half, Lucenti throws an interception, and both teams have capitalized on those turnovers and scored majors on them.
Another short kick, trying the onside. It's hauled in by the Bears player. Excellent coverage by the Raiders. Haul him down quickly. It's number 71, Chris Spurvey, taking the ball for the Bears on the run back. Kick of about 20 yards, run back of about 4. It'll be first down Bears now, as they try and reply to the touchdown just scored by the Chippewa Raiders. Raiders coming out strong here in the 3rd quarter. 2 quick touchdowns have given them the lead, 27-21 over the Schollard Hall Bears on a beautiful day for football here at Kandari Field. Lucenti making the call, drops back and looks for a receiver, finds Collins on the pit. Collins gets wide out around a few tackles, takes out a television camera. Collins coming right in front of us. Finally was hauled out of bounds. Collins with another gain would be very close to a first down with an injured Raiders player on the play. Injured players number 60, or number 52, Dan Lip, defensive lineman for the Chippewa Raiders. As the referees mark the ball, I'm going to call him for a measurement. The chains are called to run all the way across the field. Make the measurement across at this end of the field. As the cameraman has managed to get back up and is in the seems to be all right after taking that hard hit. They're short of the first down by about a yard by the looks of it. Collins with the catching the screen pass off to the left side and ran it up for a 9-yard gain for the Bears on the first run of this drive. It'll be 2nd and 1 for the Scholar Hall Bears. Collins, like he's been doing all day after catching a pass, runs with the ball, finds holes and makes holes. This time ran out of room as the sidelines came up on him quick, and so did the cameraman. Chippewa Raiders trying to encourage their defense on the field. To Scholar Hall Bears trying to come back down 6 points. There's a pitch out and a reverse to Humphrey. Pitch to Collins and a reverse to Humphrey, who's running down the right side. Finally tackled by 2 men, but he gets the first down.
Well, the reverse it eludes Chippewa, and they weren't expecting the reverse. Everybody was going to the right side, and I think number 5, Humphreys, he took advantage of that and ran to the right side and picked up first down.
We'll see on the replay, Lucenti drops back, the handoff to Collins, who gives the reverse to Humphrey back across the field, eludes a couple tackles and manages to pound it up for a 5-yard gain and the first down. The Bears now penetrating Chippewa Raider territory, down by 6 points. As Greg Casey has 3 TDs on the afternoon for the Chippewa Raiders to give them the lead. So the handoff goes to Janvo. Janvo with a gain of 3 or 4 yards on the play, pounding up the left side.
Janvo with his 2nd run of the game. He just came in the second half here. Last week, him and Collins were a big part of the offense, and again, he's looking to be a big part of today's game.
Number 24, Janvo, starting to get the ball here in the second half, is making things happen. 4-yard gain on that play. As Lucenti prepares to take the snap, Janvo's in motion. Drops back to pass. He looks down for Janvo. Finds him. He makes the catch and holds on. As the tackle made by number 35, Graham Moffat of the Raiders, right there as Janvo made the catch. Excellent job by Janvo.
A great catch by Janvo there. He was under pressure, and it was a very good catch because he held the ball. And we'll see here that
Janvo gets hit the moment he makes the catch, but manages to hold on to the ball. Excellent job, excellent hands by Janvo. So we now have the Bears, 1st and 10, starting to put together a solid drive here this afternoon.
Well, this is the first time the Bears have been in Chippewa territory in the second half, and hopefully they take advantage of it.
Handoff goes to Collins, who bounces off a few tackles. Finds his way down 15 yards for the first down. Excellent run by Andy Collins once again, taking the ball wide left this time, using his speed to get it around. Here we see, takes the ball, bounces off a few tackles, manages to outrun one, and finally gets hit and knocked out of bounds.
He's such a good player because he just dips and doos and all around the players, and he gets out of the way really easy.
If there's not a hole there, he'll bounce off tacklers until he finds one. He makes his own holes. Excellent running back. Also to the backfield, Steve Janvo. The combination here in the second half starting to work. As the Scholar Hall Bears down to the 25. in Chippewa territory. It'll be a test for the Raiders defense as it goes to Janvo, who gets spun. Does a 360 in the air and gains about 6 yards. Steve Janvo starting to become a regular force out of the backfield for the Bears here in the second half. Steve Janvo doing an excellent job. That time took a big hit, managed to hold on to the ball. Lucenti takes a snap from center, direct handoff to Janvo through the left tackle, finds a hole for 6 yards, for about 8 yards on the play. Be 2nd and 2 for the Scullard Hall Bears. Lucenti takes the snap, hands it off to Collins, who muscles his way up for the first down.
In order to be close to the first down.
Andy Collins with the first down, making it 1st and 10. Depending on the spot. First down is signaled by the referee. It'll be now 1st and 10 for the Scullard Hall Bears as Collins records another first down for the Bears. It'll be 1st and 10 from about the 11-yard line. Bears threatening. This will be an opportunity for the Bears. It'll be a big test for the Raiders defense here.
Well, both teams inside the 10-yard line have, and actually inside the 20-yard line, have taken advantage of that, and they've scored touchdowns every time they've been inside the 20.
So far, neither defense being able to stop the offenses once they get within that 20 yards of the end zone. Excellent job by both quarterbacks on play calling this afternoon. It's not exactly too tough when you have a running back like Casey and a running back like Collins out of the backfield. As we see Lucenti preparing to take the snap. Both Janvo in the backfield takes the ball. Janvo finds a hole, left tackle again, this time gaining about 4 or 5 yards. Janvo doing a fine job going off left tackle for about the 3rd time in a row. Here we see on the replay, Janvo gaining a few yards on the play. This will be another opportunity for that time. Collins was not in the backfield on that play. The backfield on that play had Tyler Landry in the backfield along with Steve Janvo as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. And we change ends of the field. After 3 quarters of the play, the Chippewa Raiders are leading the Scullard Hall Bears 27-21, with the Bears threatening to score down within the 10-yard line on Chippewa territory.
Well, even though this has been a running back show, both quarterbacks have shown a little bit of poise in the backfield. Lucenti has thrown a couple good passes for touchdowns, and Pratt also has thrown one for a touchdown. It's not like they're not actually in the game, but with running backs like that, they just pretty much hand the ball to them and let them do all the work.
Both quarterbacks doing a fine job showing patience when they get the ball. The offensive line's doing something that they didn't do last week very well, and that's giving the quarterback plenty of time to make a play, plenty of time to throw. There's only been once or twice that Lucenti's had to roll out of the pocket as he sets up in the shotgun formation. Looks to pass down the right side. It goes incomplete. No receiver within 5 yards of that pass. Intended receiver was Collins on the play. Dylan Parr was also in the area.
Well, Lucenti was a little rushed on that play. We were just saying that his offensive line has given him a lot of time, but then they come out and let a couple players slip through the line, and he was rushed on that play, and he passes incomplete.
Chippewa Raiders defense doing a fine job on that play, getting through the offensive line to get some pressure on Lucenti. As Janvo takes the handoff, goes down left side. He's going to be very close to a first down, as it was 3rd and 5 to start that play, depending on the spot. It's a favorable spot from the referees, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. They only had 2 or 3 yards of space to be able to get a first down. They managed to do it. I believe they're being marked just long of the 1 yard line, as there's a Raider player down on the field.
Well, the Bears have 4 chances to get 6 points here, and it looks pretty favorable for them. If they don't, it's going to take great defensive plays by the Chippewa team to keep them out of the end zone right now.
Number 74, Chris Chambers, the injured player for the Raiders, now being escorted off the field by his trainer. Good to see number 72, Jim Santori, coming into the game. As the Bears line up. Go back to the huddles now. A little bit of confusion on the offense there. Referee whistles it in. Both teams come up to the line of scrimmage as the Bears on the 1 yard line have a big opportunity to score here to tie the game at 27 if they can put this major in. Handoff goes to Janvo, and he's stopped at the short of the line of scrimmage. Janvo couldn't find a hole on the left tackle that time, as he was met by a very large Chippewa Raider defender.
Yes, number 52, Dan Lip. He made the tackle, and they're going to have to make about 3 more of those types of plays to keep the Bears out of the end zone right now.
It's now going to be 2nd and goal for the Scholard Bears.
Let's go! Hey, let's go!
The Bears wanting to put this ball into the end zone here early in the 4th quarter. Excellent opportunity for them to tie the game as Lucenti takes the ball, hands it off to Janvo, who puts it in for the touchdown. Some of the Raiders players calling for a holding penalty, but no flags on the play.
Actually, that was Collins putting the final touch on that drive. Number 33, Collins, with his 3rd touchdown of the game, equaling Greg Casey, his counterpart on the Chippewa team. They both have 3 touchdowns today, and that pretty much tells the whole game right there.
See on the replay, handoff goes to Collins, and he pounds it in for the touchdown. Very strong running back Collins found a small hole in the defense and pounded it in for the major. Now the Scholard Bears will have a very important single point attempt. This extra point could give them the lead.
Chippewa missed their last extra point attempt, and if the Bears put this one in, then it's a very good thing, because they'll put them 1 point up, and it's going to take more than a touchdown for Chippewa to win this game.
Randy Rancourt sets himself preparing for this extra point.
Heads up, call it!
Early in the 4th quarter here.
Wide, wide!
Raiders getting ready to force a block, and he puts it up good, splits the uprights down the middle. It's now 28-27 for the Bears. Excellent drive by the Bears here in the 4th quarter, 28-21. Bears putting some solid passing along with good running by Janvo on that set of plays before finally Collins punched it into the end zone, giving them a 28-27 1-point lead here in the 4th quarter. Excellent game so far. Neither defense has been able to stop the offense. Both offenses doing a fine job at workmanlike precision, putting the ball slowly down the field. Only one really large play so far was by Greg Casey early in the game. Ran one in off a pass from about 50 yards out. Other than that, it's been all short yardage for both teams.
And that's pretty much the key for both teams, to keep their passes short, keep the running game going, and take their breaks where they can get them.
It's this kickoff's down along the ground. It's handled by number 40 for the Raiders. Can't find much of a hole. Good coverage. Good containment on the part of the Bears. That was Adam Breton.
Yes, Adam Breton taking that kickoff return, and he picks up about 10 yards on the return. Again, the kick is on the ground. They're keeping it away from Casey and making the other people return the ball.
Breton broke to the middle of the field on that play, where he was met by 3 Bear tacklers. Pratt now going to see what he can do, if he can put the ball down into Bears territory. Kerry Pratt's been doing a fine job as he pitches off to Greg Casey. Casey gets around the outside. Is finally held by number 28, Mike Driscoll, who gets help on the tackle.
He got help from number 18, Steph Lawrence, who DDT'd Casey and right to the ground.
Took him to the ground hard, but Casey got 5 yards out of it. About 6 yards actually out of the play. It'll be about second and just about 4 yards for the Chippewa Raiders, who have been going to Casey all day long. Raiders this time line up in a 3-receiver formation. 2 out to the left. Lucenti fakes the handoff, goes out left to Jason Doyle, who's brought down hard this time again by Mark Poulin, Poulin's did a great job tackling this afternoon for the Bears. We'll see on the replay. Pratt drops back, fakes to Collins, fakes to Casey actually, tosses it out to Doyle. Gains the first down.
As Poulin went back into the huddle, he's trying to pump up his teammates, verbally attacking teammates actually.
Raiders, the first down just shy of midfield. Pratt barks out the signals, takes the ball. This time hands it off to Casey. Casey finds a hole, gets the first down, and fumbles the ball.
I think Chippewa did return.
Chippewa has recovered the ball, signaled by the referee. Very close play there as Casey fumbled the ball, almost lost possession of it. That's a problem that the Raiders had last week. Every time they started to mount a drive, they would fumble the ball and lose it back to the Bears.
They don't want to start doing that now, this late in the game, when they need more than a touchdown. And here it is again, Casey going wide right, eluding a couple tacklers, and the ball stripped from him and recovered by Chippewa.
As Pratt takes the ball from center, looks back to pass, big pressure, he fumbles the ball. It's pounced on by a Bears player. I believe the Raiders have recovered it though.
Very fortunate in that play to recover that ball.
I believe that was number 72, Chris Gale of the Bears, who had the opportunity to haul it in.
Pratt takes about 6 steps back and is met by about 6 Scholar Hall players.
Gale couldn't hold on to the ball when he tried to land on top of it. Squeezed loose and the Raiders recover. 2 fumbles in a row for the Raiders. This one costs them a lot of real estate, as it's now about 2nd and 30. About 2nd and 28 yards to go. As the Raiders, Pratt steps back, looks to pass. Incomplete, goes to the intended receiver, was Jason Doyle down the right side. Bad pass by Pratt. Came up very short of his intended receiver. It'll now be 3rd and 28 for the Chippewa Raiders, as the Bears here in the 4th quarter have taken the lead 28-27. It's an opportunity for the Bears to recover the ball here in good field position, as the Raiders have a long way to go for a first down here on 3rd down. They look to pass, Pratt to nobody, falls short. The only person who had an opportunity to catch that ball was Tyler Landry of the Scholar Hall Bears.
Well, believe it or not, in the 4th quarter, for the 2nd time in this game, we are going to see another punt It's only the second punt of the whole game.
Last time the Raiders had the opportunity to punt, they did not do a very good job of it. It went off the side of their kicker's foot, only went about 15 yards. The Bears always line up in the Raiders line up in an interesting formation with Tim Shillington starting off to the right side, to the left side of the formation before he moves to the back to receive the snap from center for the punt. This time he gets off a very high, good punt. Confusion on the part of the Bears as two Bear players collide, and I believe it's going to be Bears ball.
Poulin.
Mark Poulin having problems back there. Lets it bounce off his helmet and goes back to the, drops him for a loss at about the 10-yard line of the Bears. The Bears just lucky to recover the ball off that kickoff, that punt.
Well, the kicking today hasn't been that spectacular, but they've been well placed to say anything about it. The Bears have been keeping the ball away from Greg Casey, so they're putting the ball on the ground off the kick. So
Daryl Bester and Mark Poulin got their signals mixed up, trying to receive that punt, got them into trouble. As the Bears have a long stretch of field to go. They're sitting at their own 10-yard line. As Lucenti takes the snap from center, goes to Janveau, keeps the legs pumping, gains about 6 yards.
Well, the Bears on this drive would like to eat up as much time on the clock as they can. They have a 1-point lead at this time, and it's in the middle of the fourth quarter. If they can make this drive last about 5 minutes, then they will have a good chance of winning the game.
Probably be pretty straightforward for Lucenti at this point. It'll be a handoff to either Janveau or Collins almost every time.
Yeah, you don't want to get fancy and put the ball in the air right now.
Lucenti already with 1 interception this afternoon. This time the handoff goes to Collins.
What a workhorse Collins is, as 4 players are holding him.
Actually, it was Janveau with the run out of the backfield that time, and a flag goes up. I believe it's going to be a penalty against the Chippewa Raiders. Roughing or a late hit. So the referees mark the ball. That'll get the Bears reasonably well out of their own end, up to the 35-yard line.
We give the Bears a first down, and again another chance to eat up as much time as they can on the clock.
28-27, the Bears leading the Raiders here at Kandari Field on a beautiful, clear, sunny day for football. Lucenti back to take the snap. Looks for the handoff. This time it's to Collins, who breaks free of a few tackles, steps side another one, and he fumbles the ball. The Raiders, I believe, have recovered the football. And the signal goes up, Raiders ball. They'll have the ball just on their side of midfield. Collins, usually fairly solid with the hands, has the ball jarred loose.
Number 48, Reed Williamson, is the man who stripped the ball from Collins, and it gives Chippewa a good chance to come back and win this game.
About midway here in the fourth quarter of this semi-final football action, the Scullard Hall Bears playing host to the Chippewa Raiders. The final game of the regular season, Scullard Hall managed to defeat the Raiders 21-9. It's currently 28-7 here in a very tight game with 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, as the Chippewa Raiders have the ball now with an opportunity to drive the field. Pratt takes the ball, fakes the handoff to Casey, airs it out deep, and it's overthrown past Casey down the left sideline. Faked the handoff to Jason Doyle there and went long to a streaking Casey, but it was overthrown.
Looked like a pretty good throw from Pratt, about a 40-yard throw, but his intended receiver just didn't have the legs to get up there as fast as the ball was thrown.
It'll be now 2nd and 10 for those Chippewa Raiders, who are down by 1 point here late in the fourth quarter. Big opportunity for the Raiders here. It's going to be a test for the Bears defense, as it's a pitch left to Casey. Casey dodges and dives his way, and is finally brought down by number 40, Dan Matthews, along with number 6, Mark Poulin, combined to make the tackle on Greg Casey, who walks his way back to the huddle. That time, Casey couldn't find much yardage as he finally gets tackled back at the line of scrimmage, getting hauled down. The Raiders now 3rd and about 9 yards. This is going to be a key first down if they can get it. So they go to Casey, pitch right, uses his speed, cuts up the middle. He has the first down. Oh, and he's just tripped up down the sidelines. A nice save by Mark Papin down the sidelines. Papin made the tackle. If it wasn't for him, Casey had a lot of green in between him and the end zone. Here we see Casey takes the ball. He's breaking to the sidelines and cuts it back up the middle. Finally knocked down and tripped up by Mark Papin.
Great speed by Casey there on that run to pick up the first down.
1st and 10 for the Raiders. Putting something together here late in the 4th quarter, trying to pull out a victory. Both coaches before the game thought it would be a very close one, and they were right. As Pratt takes the ball, this time it's handed off to number 34, Jeff Colvin. Very large running back out of the backfield, takes the ball. I believe he had enough for the first down. Here we see the ball. Pratt takes the ball from center, hands it off to Colvin. Not the usual running back out of the backfield, but the big man lumbers down for about a 15-yard gain. Unfortunately for the Raiders, that's being brought back. A holding call against the Raiders. That big play will be nullified as the Raiders will lose 10 yards and be 2nd and 20.
Well, once again, the Raiders are penalized, and in the yardage department, they've probably lost more yardage today than on penalties than gained. And
1st and 10 for a very pumped up Chippewa Raiders squad, as Kerry Pratt takes the ball from center, pitches out left to Greg Casey. Casey finds his way around the end. He's going. It should go all the way here. One last man makes the tackle, puts him out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Number 21, Greg Casey, making the big play to get around the end.
What an exciting run by Casey. Every time he gets the ball, he makes the play look exciting.
Greg Casey, big play on that play, getting around the left end and driving it down for about a 30-yard gain. 30-yard gain. Casey with the big play to the backfield. Once again, we have Casey and Doyle lined up in the backfield behind quarterback Pratt. Pratt this time goes to Colvin, the big man, for the 2nd time on this drive. This time he gains 2 or 3 yards, and it will not be brought back on a penalty, as was his big play moments ago. All the Raiders need is a field goal here to win this game. They're down by 1 point. An exciting football game here in semi-final action. The winner of this game will play the winner of the West Ferris Trojans and Whitfield Wildcats. The other game today being played at West Ferris. As Pratt prepares to take the ball from the center, Doyle and Casey takes the ball this time in the backfield, cuts up the middle. Oh, and he trips up over himself. Lost his footing and went to the ground. Casey has an excellent feel for the game. He manages to cut straight up and find a hole whenever he gets the ball.
There's no scoreboard here at Kandari Field, so we don't exactly know how much time is left.
We do know
if
it's
under a minute, then a field goal will win this game. But then again, a field goal hasn't even been attempted in this game yet.
Getting late in the game, Chippewa Raiders not wanting to make a mistake have called a timeout. Talk over strategy. Number 22, Jason Doyle. And number 16, Carey Pratt, the quarterback, talking it over with the coach. Excellent drive put together by the Chippewa Raiders. Got the ball just on their side of midfield and have marched it down using the pass and the run. Excellent job. And now within 20 yards of the end zone, with an opportunity late in the fourth quarter to win this ball game. The Bears up 28-27.
I'm pretty sure the Raiders will keep the ball on the ground for this play. If they don't pick up the first down on this play, then the field goal will be attempted, but they don't want to put it in the air because
1 minute and 37 seconds remaining in this football game. Plenty of time on the clock for the Raiders to pound it into the end zone. Probably see the ball going to either Doyle or Casey out of the backfield. As Pratt takes the ball, flips it to Casey, gets around the left side, a flag flies, but Casey going in and he comes up just short of the end zone. Gets knocked out of bounds at the 1 yard line, but we have a flag from the back umpire. As Casey got a big gain out of it, but it may be brought back. Here we have the replay. Casey, nice block there to give him a few more yards. Finally taken out of bounds. But it is being called back as a holding call comes against the Chippewa Raiders.
Casey's down on his knees right now. It'd be a shame if he has to be taken out of the game.
Perhaps may have lost his wind on that play as he got hit very hard down at the 2 yard line. But it all goes for naught as a holding call brings the ball back to the original line of scrimmage.
Penalties, penalties, penalties.
Chippewa Raiders have had plenty of them so far this afternoon, and it has not actually cost them too much. So far they managed to overcome them, but with under 1 minute 30 remaining in this game, this could be a costly penalty. Instead of being on the 2 yard line in excellent scoring position, they're way out on about the 23. As Greg Casey has to come out of the game. He was down injured and called for a stoppage in play, which means he has to sit out for a couple plays. In his place is number 19, Tim Shillington. Carey Pratt, the quarterback. We'll see what he does here without his big man in the backfield. He has Jason Doyle back there, along with Dan Lipp. Normally a big defensive lineman. We have them setting up. And here come back to throw as Pratt finds Jason Doyle down within the 10 yard line. A big play for the Chippewa Raiders.
I don't think Scholar Hall was expecting that at all because
Chippewa Raiders straight up the middle. Jason Doyle wide open. Here we see Pratt fakes the handoff, drops straight back, and hits Jason Doyle at about the 5 yard line for a first down. I will give them first and goal with approximately 1 minute remaining in this football game. Chippewa Raiders down at the 5 yard line of the Scollard Bears.
Well, I got to give Pratt credit on that play because with 1 minute left in scoring position, he delivers a great pass.
This time it's handed off to Doyle, who pounds it into the end zone. Jason Doyle. An excellent play, finds a seam through the right side. Jason Doyle jumping all over his teammates. A fabulous play here late in the fourth quarter. That will give the Chippewa Raiders a 33-28 lead, as you see on the replay. Jason Doyle takes the handoff from the quarterback, Carey Pratt, runs it up through the right side of the defense. An excellent play.
Well, once again, Chippewa overcoming the penalties. They were penalized about 30 yards on that play, but they still made up and scored the touchdown.
The Scollard Bears defeated the Chippewa Raiders every time during the regular season. The only wins that the Raiders got this season were against the Whitfield Wildcats, who they defeated twice. Raiders with a 2-4 record finishing off the regular season, coming into this semifinal game against the 4-2 St. Joe Scholar Hall Bears, are just about to pull up an upset here on semifinal Saturday. As we have Katsilidis trying for the extra point. It's botched, but it doesn't matter at this point, as they're up 33-28, a 5-point lead for the Raiders. Very, very late in the fourth quarter.
Well, I don't know if that the extra point attempt was actually botched. I think they were going for the 2-point conversion, and Scholar Hall just recognized that right away and pounced all over.
Referees telling both benches 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, as the Chippewa Raiders, after scoring that major, will be kicking off to the St. Joseph Scholar Hall Bears, who are going to have one final kick at the can here, trying to come back. Down 5 points, they need a touchdown. And anything can happen with the big man, Andy Collins, in the backfield. Between him and Jan Vo, they've had an excellent day running the ball.
Well, I'm pretty sure Katsilidis is going to try and put this ball well deep into the Bears territory to keep them as far away from their own end zone as possible.
The two big men, Steve Janvo and Andy Collins, both back, setting up to receive this kickoff by Katsilidis. Katsilidis not wanting to give either big man an opportunity to play the ball. Kicks it down the right side towards Janvo, who gives a reverse to Collins. Collins finds a hole, busts it up, and is hauled down just shy of the 40-yard line. The Bears are going to have a lot of field to move in a very short time. Just about 1:10 remaining in this football game. That time, here we see the kickoff. Kickoff goes to Steve Janvo of the Bears, who picks it up quickly without hesitation. Gives it to Andy Collins, who finds a couple holes for about a 10-yard return.
Well, we're going to see if Lucenti can pull up a big drive here. He's going to have to go. He's going to have to put it in the air a couple times at least, I know. You can't be running all the way down the field in less than 1 minute.
Here we have Lucenti taking the snap from center. It's the pitch out. Pitch left to Andy Collins, who doesn't find any holes. He's met by the running back for the Chippewa Raiders, Greg Casey. Casey taking Collins down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And that time the Bears went to their key man, Andy Collins. Unfortunately, couldn't do the job on that play. Couldn't find a hole to get through. Scoured Bears needing some big plays here late in the fourth quarter. They set up with 3 wide receivers out to the right side, and Andy Collins off to the left. He looks out. Lucenti looks over the middle.
My goodness.
Number 52, the big defensive lineman, Dan Lipp, for the Chippewa Raiders. Chippewa Raiders comes up with the interception. A big play here late in the fourth quarter. As the Raiders, very excited, give Dan Lipp a workover. That's what you get for making an interception. Here we have the replay. Lucenti straight over the middle.
Lipp
intercepted.
Like a great wide receiver on that sprawling save there. Great catch.
Lucenti going for his intended receiver, Dylan Parr, with double coverage on Andy Collins over on the left side. Went up the middle to Parr, but it was intercepted.
Lucenti throws his second interception of the game, and the first one, of course, was brought down all the way back down the field by Chippewa and scored a touchdown.
I'm sure this ball won't move very far, as it'll be just handoffs to Greg Casey here late in the fourth quarter. Try and run off the clock with under a minute remaining. There goes the handoff to Casey, who manages, actually that's to Jason Doyle, who finds a hole.
Almost a first down.
While protecting the ball. Protecting the ball with both hands, he manages to find a hole. as you see him break through the left side here.
Stumbles his way to about a 8-yard
First
gain.
down.
Oh, it is a 10-yard gain.
Managed to get over to 10 yards for the first down. Jason Doyle doing the job for the Raiders here. That's Carey Pratt.
Well, now Chippewa looking to extend their lead and put this game well out of reach for the Bears.
Carey Pratt prepares to take the snap from center with Jason Doyle in the backfield again. It goes to Doyle, goes down the left side, and is finally hauled down by number 18, Steph Lawrence, of the Bears. A large crowd here at Kandari Field taking in this football game this afternoon.
Well, when we started this game, I could actually count all the people that were here. As you see,
Jason
Doyle.
Disqualified. Punching.
Interesting call by the referees. I believe they have ejected a player for punching, I believe is what the referee said. Here late in this fourth quarter at Kandari Field. Great crowd here is gathered at St. Joseph Scullard Hall to watch their Bears take on the Chippewa Raiders this afternoon. The Bears, though, trailing by 5, down 33-28 to the Chippewa Raiders squad. Doing an excellent job. 17 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Chippewa Raiders have the ball. Barring a turnover or an interception, it looks like it will be the Raiders to take on either the West Ferris Trojans or the Whitfield Wildcats next week in the final.
We tried to get an update earlier from West Ferris today, but we weren't able to, and I'm pretty sure that it's a safe bet to say that West Ferris will be in the final. With that perfect 6-0 record during the season, they were pretty much unstoppable throughout the whole season.
But we see an upset coming here so far this afternoon. You never know what's happening in West Ferris. The Chippewa Raiders coming in with a record of only 2 wins and 4 losses at the end of regular season play, facing the St. Joseph Scullard Hall Bears with star running back Andy Collins. Finished the season at 4-2 and defeated the Chippewa Raiders on the final day of the regular season. Came into the semifinal action favored to win. And it's been an excellent day of football as both running backs, Collins and Casey, have dominated this game throughout, running the ball up the middle and around the ends whenever they wished, gaining plenty of yards.
Collins and Casey have brought out the best in both of their respective clubs. Last week, these two teams played. The game was nothing like today's game. It was a little more dull and they weren't playing with the intensity of today's game. Obviously, just that this is a playoff game is giving both teams more intense players.
The Chippewa Raiders now lining up to the line of scrimmage. Getting ready to run the clock down. Carey Pratt. No wide receivers out. He'll probably just go down to one knee on this play to run out the clock. Drops back and finally goes down to one knee. Dropped back 5 yards and went down to a knee. 16 seconds remaining before that play started. Chippewa Raiders have had an excellent game this afternoon. Greg Casey with 3 touchdowns, leading the Raiders offense. Leading Raiders offense with 3 touchdown runs. Did an excellent job. Carey Pratt doing a fine job distributing the ball between Doyle and Casey all afternoon. Although another great game by Andy Collins on the side of the Bears field with another 3 touchdown performance. Could go for naught here this afternoon, and it does as the referee signals an end to this semifinal football game. The Chippewa Raiders defeat the St. Joseph Scullard Hall Bears by a final score of 33-28. An excellent afternoon of football by both teams. The Chippewa Raiders will advance to the final next week against either the West Ferris Trojans or the Whitfield Wildcats. That's all for football here this afternoon from the semifinal. Once again, the final score, Chippewa 33, Scholar Hall 28. For Don Michelle and the rest of the crew, I'm Glenn Hall. Thank you for watching.